Hey everybody, we are live for Tuesday Talks. Now, Tuesday Talks is all about getting to know an individual, finding out what makes them tick, what do they care about, how their career reflects that, and what motivates them to keep going. Now, today's guest is a wonderful, amazing person called Anna. I am not going to even try to pronounce the second name. I'm sure we can ask. So Anna has moved to Berlin to start a career in sales from scratch, and now she's helping companies and also helping in her spare time for other people to master personal branding, get better jobs. Don't we all want that? In the current climate where everything's tough, we need people like Anna to help us and understand what can we do to jazz up our CVs, what can we do to jazz up our personal branding. If you are how I look at personal branding is everything that we represent, and that's what it is. So let's get Anna on. And Anna, I think I am just sending you an invite if it's come through. It should be with you now. Technologies, huh?
Yes, I think you made it.
Hey,
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you very much, Anna, for hopping on to Tuesday. Welcome.
Hi everyone, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much for hopping on to Tuesday Talks. Again, thank you very much for doing this. I know it was a very short notice for yourself, but you obviously taken it, so you've done. Thank you very much. For the audience who don't know you here, if you could introduce yourself, let them know who you are, what you do, and the biggest question we're going to also ask whilst we're doing this is also, that every Tuesday Talks viewer wants to know is, why do you do it, Anna, as well? So I've done a short introduction for you anyway, but you take it away.
Okay, super. So hi everyone, I'm Anna. I'm from Romania. I moved when I was 8 years old to Spain, where I started to study engineering. And 2 years ago, I decided to move to Germany again because I wanted to build a career in sales. And at the moment, I'm a sales manager at CleanHub, which is a company that helps to end with the plastic pollution in the ocean. And also in my free time, what I do is career coaching and personal branding for CEOs. Like a summary.
Wow. Hey, wow. That's so great. And what I've also just realized is that I am also going live from a totally different account than my usual account. So hopefully that does not mess up the things, but this is fine, right? So that this will get transferred onto that account anyway. That's okay. So this is an amazing story that that you've just shared with us in terms of relocating and starting. So did you have to start over from beginning when you moved to Germany?
Yeah, I did. Actually, it was kind of a risk. I started from zero. I started working in gastronomy at the beginning, and I knew that I wanted to get a job in sales, but I didn't knew anything. I didn't know anything about sales. I didn't know even what was an office, and what kind of job could you do in an office, right? I didn't know anything about that. And I realized I couldn't have time if I'm in gastronomy to actually start my job search. So what I did is I needed to find a job for hours. And I stopped being in gastronomy and I said, I need something to do per hours. It can be, I don't know, I was even thinking about working dogs, whatever. And I found this girl that needed someone to manage the apartment, to clean a bit, to manage the closet. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And therefore, I had more time for the job search. And this is a really funny story, because when I got my first sales job, I was working for this girl, and it was in the middle of Berlin. And it was really a fancy place, and it was a lot of cool offices. It was Microsoft, and I could go every single time there, and I could look at those buildings, and I could think, I don't belong here. I don't belong to do this job. I want to work there. And that could be like every single day I could think the same.
Wow.
And the day I received my first contract, I remember I went through the contract, and at the end there was an address. And the place I was working for this girl cleaning the apartment, the place that I could work, my first sales job, was in front. Like, was on the same street and in front of my cleaning apartment job. And that was like, oh my God, manifestation. That blew my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this, and what I'm hearing there as well, and I'm going to take away from it as well, is how strong your mind is in terms of what you want to achieve, what you think you become that, and what you really need also, like, okay, you really want it to be there in that area, in that building, and universe has a obviously funny way of helping, is to, okay, what will happen if I bring you near enough? Now you're near it, let's see if you really want it, right? And then if you really want it, your energy levels will rise because of that. You're there now, you will see it every day, and you will want to be in that building more and more and more. And therefore, if you're really into it, the universe will say, okay, here's the chance now to move forward, right? And then you do it. So I really love that share of this. So what happened next after that? That was obviously your first thing.
So I got my first job, and then I didn't know that I wanted to be a coach, right? I didn't know that I wanted to help people. I knew somehow I wanted to help the world to be better, which I think is something that most of us want, right? We want to improve the world. But I didn't know what could be my thing, right? How could I do it? And it's funny because when I got my first sales job, one day before the offer, my boyfriend at that time, he broke up with me.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And,
okay.
And actually this is really related to why I'm doing right now what I'm doing. Because when he did that, I came back home, and at that point I didn't have my family close, and they had too many problems, I couldn't call them. But I needed to speak to someone because, of course, I just ended up a relationship.
Of course.
And I remember I went home. I was living at that time with 5 girls. It was like a really big flat share. And I needed to speak to someone, and I never spoke to them. But that day, I just needed to let it go to someone even stranger. And I started talking to them, and I said, look, girls, he told me he doesn't want me in his life, but I want to do my own company, and I want to get that done. It doesn't matter. Like, it was more of a piece of, feeling that makes you do things. And I wanted to plan my year, right? Because it was December, and I said, I'm going to do a visual board because I need to plan my year. I cannot let this, I need to be focused. And I tell them like everything about, I want to help women. I want to help people that are going through a job search because of what I was going through. And I told them, do you have any dreams? And at the beginning they start like, not really, we don't really have a thing, like I just want to be happy, the usual stuff.
Yes.
And we kept talking, and at the end they said, actually I want to have a hotel. And the other one said, I study psychology and I want to be a therapist, and I want to open my own clinic. And when I saw that actually people have dreams, and everybody have something that you know, that they are dreaming about, that they want to do, that they are maybe afraid of doing, but they just hide it and put excuses, even make their own excuses to believe, like just believe them. And I start thinking, that's my mission, right? I really want to make people don't give up on their dreams and actually remember what was the calling, right? And why are they here? So job search was something related to, was a bit of the first step to actually get my own dream and others' dream too.
Wow. I'm in awe of what you just shared here. And also I wanted to say thank you very much for being vulnerable in terms of, you know, what you just shared there. That's so huge. And using that scenario or that challenge that you just went through, you know, when your boyfriend of that time, you know, leaving you, and they were like, instead of, obviously I'm sure you went through emotions and everything, right? We all do. We need to acknowledge them. We need to understand them. We need to you know, give them what they deserve, and then you use that to catapult yourself into what is actually needed. What's my calling now? This is what I'm doing. I'm gonna help, and I love that. This is so amazing that you used a negative event to turn that into a positive outcome of that, and that's such an amazing thing, because a lot of us at that situation usually would be, you know, just stuck or in the negative for a very long time, and then by the time they start thinking of positive, it's maybe sometimes it's too late, or you're too far out. Then you have to pull yourself back in, right, to the life. And I love that the share you've just shared, that, you know, using that negativity that's just you've been left in to catapult yourself into the positive, and using the people that you were sharing the house with, which you've not usually spoke to, and so you created new friends with that as well, right? So this is amazing. I love that. So take us through a little bit of your coaching side of things. Obviously, then you started this coaching, which is helping now others, career coaching, job search, and things like that. In the current climate, it's so needed, you know, because there's, I know the company I'm with at the moment has just let go of so many staff already, and there's so many people now trying to look for better prospects and other companies. What can they, let's ask them, what can they do at this moment to actually make their chances a little bit better than it is for them?
Yeah, so I would say, to be honest, and I'm not selling anything here, but I would say, I'm not saying me, but I would say find a mentor. And for whatever position you want, if you don't know how to how to do the right things, I would recommend 100% to find someone that, it doesn't have to be someone paid, right, as like a coach, but it can be someone that is 3 steps in front of you, and still you can get some advice, and really open to them, because that will help you with your mindset. So that the most important thing in the actual market, and the thing that I see in my students, is we are working 70% in the mindset, because with this competitive market, much more competitive right now, it's really easy to give up. And after receiving just no's and no's and no's, it's really easy to not keep going and say, you know what, I will get a lower salary, or I will get positions that I will never get. Like, some people goes from titles, normal titles, right, or senior titles, and they get junior titles or internships, and that's like, don't settle for less, but find someone that can teach you the right things to do. And of course, don't also get in this bubble of it's so difficult. Don't look at the news that much, or everything is negative. Also look at the good things, right? Look at, there are many opportunities and jobs that are opening right now, many recruiters that are looking for people. So yes, look at the news, at the bad news, but don't forget that there's always a bad side and a good side, and you should take both of them, and maybe the good sides more in account. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So definitely, you know, in terms of when they are out looking for these things, get support, get help, and mentorship. I actually 100% agree that you need that, and being honest with the person that you get in touch with, because they can then help you more with whatever support that is needed, whether that's help with making the CV better, whether that is guidance of what's the next line after this, because it is sometimes it's tricky, right? And as you said, they then end up settling for something lower, below than they're used to, because they're like, okay, it's either this or nothing now, which is not actually true. It is that or higher now, actually, because now it's actually opened up maybe more doors. We just need to figure out where that door is, and that's what we need to do that from what the situation we're in. So I love this share. Thank you very much for that. And so in yourself, then that you are also helping people with this. How do you help? What does that look like for somebody who wants to, let's say, reach out to you? What does that look like for them?
So the coaching program is has three parts. The first part is obviously know what kind of position the student is looking, or the mentee is looking for, knowing their interests, the strengths, and what kind of mindset we have right now and what we have to work on. So basically it's deciding where we are and where we want to be. The second part is starting with optimizing the CV, starting with LinkedIn branding, and also with networking. And the third part is when the interviews are already coming, we are role playing, we are building confidence, right? We are working on storytelling, we are working on all the answers that we have. And yeah, we keep going. And then normally, and what happens most of the time, if they don't quit, of course, they will get a job. And the truth is, to be honest, if someone is listening to this and they are looking for a job, the only thing that I can say is, if you don't quit, you will find it. There is no, I will not find it. There is no wondering. If you keep going, you will find it. The only thing that it's a question is the time. We don't know when you are going to find it. But if you don't quit, it's not rocket science. If you don't quit, you will get the job. I don't know why, but you will get the job. So, yeah.
I really love this one as well, and I think I will use that title as the for the episode, right? If you don't quit, you will find it. That's amazing. If you don't quit, you will find it. So okay, since you've been now helping others to get better career prospects, and helping with that profiles and branding and everything, and that can apply to anybody anywhere around the world, because the set of rules for everybody, more or less, corporate wise, is the same, right? So same rules apply in every positions and role, so you can be used globally, so wherever the person is, right?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I'm working with some clients that are based in Germany or based in different parts of the world, but they want to find a job in the same country. And then another part of the students are working abroad and they want to find a job and they want to relocate.
Yes, relocate.
Relocation, yeah, you say it right. Yeah, and they want to relocate to another country. So it's both sides, yes.
That's actually great. So people who are listening to us now and watching us on Instagram Live, this can apply to all of you guys, wherever you are in the world, because the rules for getting the jobs or corporate industry are always most likely and usually are always the same. Maybe if they made slightly changes themselves internally, but mostly it's a blanket rules that applies to everybody. So thank you for sharing that. And so we're gonna ask you a little bit of your personal questions, if you're ready for that. In terms of we already know that you had a little breakup that you went through and all that stuff. So I want to ask a question of, when that happened, obviously there were some, you went through some challenges, and then you came out thinking of this amazing help that you are giving everybody now. What was the mindset at that time, when that suddenly happened to you?
The mindset in the sense of before or after?
During, just just when that happened, and now you went home and then you spoke to the other girls.
I was heartbroken, that's for sure. I'm not going to lie, I was crying, and even if I can tell you, I was applying while crying. But I knew I knew that I'm made for something bigger, right? I'm never relying on a relationship, or I'm never relying on my job. I'm never relying on just things. I'm relying on all my life, right? And I knew that was the correct decision, that it was not a fit. And I also knew that if this happened, I'm a fan of believing that there is something else for you, and this happened for a reason. So I just keep going. Of course, I cried and I embraced myself, and I tried to care about myself, and I did things that make me happy at that time. But yeah, I just kept going.
And thank you for pointing that out for the listeners as well, that you carried on going and did continue to make yourself happy, even though the emotions were there, crying and all that, which is correct. We need to have those things because you need to let it out. The body needs that to actually acknowledge what's happening. So the experience has to be done. And then you come on the other side, and that's what I wanted to see. So now that you are here and you've been doing this for a while, is there any routine, or some people like to call it ritual? So is that something that you do, like an early morning thing or a night thing or an afternoon? What do you do to keep yourself you?
So I would say I have a couple of things, but two of them are important. One is I do something that I don't detach of my emotions. And with that, I mean, if I express my emotion through writing, because I'm a poetry writer, or if I express my emotion by journaling or by painting, or it can be whatever, I always do something to get out what is inside. That's one. And the second one is I keep myself really accountable, in the sense of I ask myself every month, if not every week, and if not every day, where are you going and why are you doing every single thing that are you doing in your day, right? If I go to my job, I could start my morning and I could ask myself, where are you going to your job? And I could say, yeah, it's because this and this and this, and I could have my reasons, right? If I'm here with you, I could ask myself, where are you here with this and right? And I could have a reason for that. And if I'm going jogging, or if I'm going with a friend, for everything, I could have a reason to do it. And that really made me feel so confident. And also makes me go somewhere, right? And then expressing my emotions make me be stable. And in those moments where I need strength, I do get a lot of strength, because I know I am fine. I'm checking up. Like I'm checking in with myself every single day. So, yeah.
I really like that. So, to take away for everybody here, what I think should be, like to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing, right? Whether that's at the end of the month, if you've got bigger goals, or weekly, if you've got smaller, and make it even smaller daily. Right, you ask why am I doing this? Why am I on this Tuesday Talks with Zishan? Why am I going for jogging? Why? Right. So usually you will have, right. So and if you keep asking yourself those whys, you'll find the actual reason for doing everything that you're doing, and then therefore, what I'm also hearing is the success will always be with you, because they go hand in hand. The whys and the success, because they go hand in hand. The more you're asked, the more your why will get you clearer to your success. The more whys that you're gonna ask yourself. So that's actually a wonderful thing that you just shared for everybody to take away from now here. And so you're doing it. And it's great to hear that you write poetry and so you're a writer. So do you also do journaling? Do you write your thoughts down apart from writing poetry?
So sometimes I do write, but sometimes I have to say, having a side hustle and having a 40-hour job, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I came home and the last thing I want to do is to write something on a paper. Because I want just to rest, right? I have a lazy person inside too. And I just want to be lazy. So when I'm in those days, but I see that I really need to catch up with myself, I open my computer and I start recording. And instead of writing something down, I record myself and I say, how are you feeling these days? How was the week? What are the things that you are grateful for this week, this day even? How are you feeling regarding your family, your job? Where do you want to go? And I just catch up with myself on video. I put the video somewhere in my computer. I never see it again, but I got it out.
I love this, and you answered the question I was going to ask. Do you watch it again? Which is great. And I do something similar. So I have, because with the storage issues and all that stuff, I have a private YouTube channel basically, and because I can record it on my phone via YouTube, and it just goes up there and it just stays there, right? And what I tend to do is, let's say because it's on date, date and month and whatnot, right? What I do tend to do is I go back. If let's say I'm feeling very low or bad that day and everything, what I do is I go back to that date, previous month or month before, whatever, randomly, whatever that is, but it has to be that date I am on, and then see what I was feeling that time. And because I'm going to be saying what I was happy about and what I was sad about, usually I try to focus on the happiness more. That will change the situation that I'm in, because if I was feeling sad, unhappy, whatever, tired, lazy as well sometimes. So it's also lazy most of the time anyway. So it's then I would watch back and I'm like, oh wow. So to just see how far I have also come from where I was before. And what I've noticed is that actually helps me to celebrate rather than actually be tied down with whatever's pulling me down, right? Whatever's making me sad, however bad my day was. Because I also have a 40-hour work that I do in the daytime, right? So, and not most of the time, it gets to you, right? Because you are working 40 hours. So it gets to you. So, and I can go back and watch, that must be that day was an exciting day because I recorded some whatever happy things that was for it. So that you just kind of reminded me that as well. So thank you very much. And I think everybody who's just listened to it should take that away as well. So you don't really need to sit down and write things down. You can just pick up your phone and record it, keep it, or voice notes as well works, laptops, whatever, however that is, you make sure that it is out, because once it's out of the system, when it is out and your brain hears it, it acknowledges it. Okay, then it knows that it needs to move forward now, because otherwise it's just inside your brain and you're just on the loop doing, because it's not seeing what's happening, right? It's like a car that you're trying to start and it's not starting. It just makes that noise like that, right? And that's what your brain is doing. Once you've said it, when you start the car, it makes that wonderful noise of starting the engine. And that's what that is for us to now say everything out. Our engine has started because all the emotions and whatever that we were thinking is all out. And it helps. So thank you for reminding us all that it's important to actually put it out there, whether that's recording or writing or poetry, which is great.
True.
So another thing that I wanted to ask was, since you've been now helping these clients or students and mentees, is there an example that you are happy to share, without obviously mentioning any personal or names, that you found once you went on this journey that was very common, that you didn't think it was common before?
You mean on behavior, or what do you mean?
Yeah, whichever you think, when you started helping others and you came across that a lot of people were challenged by this one thing.
Yes, so right now I have around 5 people active in the job search. And it's summer, which means the recruiters are not so active because people is on vacation, right? And what I noticed in this set of students, right, they're all in the same stage. And the stage is, we did the CV. We are now in the market. We have LinkedIn branding, everything. And we have to apply to get interviews. But what is missing are the interviews, right? And they apply one day. They apply 2 days. We go to the end of the week and we talk, and they are like, oh my God, I'm already receiving rejections. This is bad. And then in the second week, which is, right, it's really little time. You say it's 2 weeks of a job search, which in my experience, I had clients that were in the job search for half a year, or technical people that were really had to do a technical interview, and they needed their time to nail it. And there are 2 weeks, and they are already, it's the same process for everybody. You get rejections and you start with your mind, right? But you don't stop, and the mind starts, oh my God, my experience is not enough. Oh my God, I'm not good. Oh my God, I should lower my expectation. Like, I should lower my salary. I should lower the seniority level. Maybe I shouldn't even apply. Maybe I should get still be in my current job. Maybe it's not that bad, actually, my current job. Even if they are in gastronomy, they start thinking, maybe actually I'm not bad. You know, I'm actually good. And just that exposure to rejection and it's uncomfortable, right? And you're out of the comfort zone. It's the same. I think we all have the same reaction, which is, I don't want to be here. I want to get out. And the mind starts, how do I get out of this situation? And they all start with the self-doubt and doubting everything.
So self-doubt is a huge thing that everybody goes through. And I can now see and understand when you went by, if you don't quit, you will find it. And that's the time they are looking at quitting, right? Or like, oh yeah, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. I didn't find anything. So therefore, I should not look for it or lower my standards or whatever, right? And this is an amazing share in terms of, for people who are listening now, to take away, to continue. Actually, if you're getting rejections, maybe double down on applying more, because how I'm also looking at it is, it's also a numbers game a little bit, right? So you apply to, let's say in one day you apply 10 jobs, nobody comes back to you for but if you're applying 10 jobs every day, so, and let's say weekend you take time off, you don't do anything on weekend, we all know the recruiters are not there as well. So Monday to Friday, you're doing 10 applications, that's 50, right? And in 2 weeks, that's 100 applications. From the 100, you might get rejected for, I don't know, let's say 99. But one might say, oh, can I keep your CV? Something happen in the future. So they liked your CV, so they want to keep you for it. So your CV now has already been accepted because they do like it. And you continue and do another 100 in the next 2 weeks, right? And then you are already one up because somebody said to you in the last week, oh yeah, I want to keep this. I think you have potential with our company, right? So they'll keep that. And usually they do get back to you, because if something comes up, because it's happened to me a few times. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's just polite way of saying no, we don't need your, we don't have anything for you. But it's not really, because a lot of time the recruiters are being honest as well. So if they have something and they know that something is coming up, they'll keep your CV, but they don't tell you that obviously I know something is coming up. Or if you continue, the more you do it, the better you become at actually applying for jobs as well. Because I've noticed that what I used to always say, let's say if you're not getting your interview yet, and you're applying, your cover letter becomes better and better and better anyway, the more you apply, because the more you're getting used to customizing it more and more and more, right? To the point it becomes natural. Therefore, you're typing naturally, and then the reader, who's the recruiter, will read it as you've written it naturally as well. It's not going to be formatted. Okay, yeah, dear, this is this. Now you're talking naturally, so it comes across. And it happens with the same for interview process, I believe as well. So, because a lot of people sometimes don't get straight away the positions in their first interview. They have to have 10 different interviews with 10 different companies. If you're lucky enough to get those, which few of us are. What that does also is you started to get, that means your CV was fantastic, but there was something missing in the interview time, right? But the more you have, the more better you get at answering those questions, right? So the better you become, in the better body language, the better calmness, the better posture. All these things count, right? Because you're under the eyes, they're looking at you. So you have, as you said, keep going and you will find it. And I love that. And it's in my mind now to keep going and you will find it. I'm going to remember that and tell everybody that as well, to keep going, you'll find it. So before we finish, we will be finishing this shortly. So what I wanted to ask was, it's going to be twofold questions. So the first one is, what do you know now that you would have appreciated to know before? Like a younger Anna would have preferred to know before, but you know it now. So obviously you're making all the decisions and everything. But what would that be that you would have preferred to know a bit earlier?
I would say, don't look for the answers outside, because when we are in this, even in the job search, when you are doubting something so much, you start looking for answer outside. You start asking people, should I do this? Should I continue? Should I change this? And look for the answers inside. You know what you should do. You know what is better for you. Listen to advice. I recommend mentors, but make the answers, make them inside. Don't get answers and put them inside, because you will not be happy. And listen to outside, but let them not affect everything.
I really love that. So the takeaway would be to listen within, listen to yourself, what's coming, what your body is saying, what's coming to you, what your mind is saying. Do not look for the answers outside in terms of what are given to you. Maybe you can ask some questions and acknowledge the answers, but then feel what's coming to you. So go with the gut feeling as well, as they say, right? So listen to your intuition and gut feeling and follow that. And I love that. Which, I was going to ask another question, but I was going to pause on that now, because this is such a wonderful answer, which is bringing me to a question. So what advice would you give to teenagers or younger as well, if they wanted to obviously be ready for the market, be ready for jobs, be ready. So what can they do? What is your advice to them for them to be ready before they come to the world?
I would say, if it's a teenager and can already work, so if we are talking about 16, 17, 18, I would say, get a job. Don't mind what you're doing. Don't see if I was doing coffees. That was one of the best experience I had because I learned how to approach people. I learned how to build relationships. And right now, that's my day-to-day life. So if I don't know how to create relationships, I cannot do sales, right? So I would say get a job. It doesn't matter what it is, but you will learn how to communicate with people and also the value of money, which is really important. And then I would say read. I know there is a lot of information on the internet, but there is that much information that we never really get into nothing. You just read a lot of things, really different things, but read about you want to become, and also read the people that you admire, because everyone, you cannot talk to, I don't know, I cannot talk to Michael Jordan or whoever I admire, right? But he wrote a book, and if I read it, it's like if he's talking to me. So read the people that you admire and get a job as soon as possible in whatever it is. That would be my true. Yeah, that would be my
this is an amazing answer, and you know, to actually get the job, get the role, which involves building relationship, building speaking to people face to face, because you want to understand how people react to certain things, and you are ready to understand them, right? So you are understanding by the time the real world kicks in for yourself. It's amazing that you are ready for it. So thank you for sharing this. And so people, if they wanted to get in touch with you for anything or career advice, how can they do so?
So there is my Instagram account, Career Coach Anna. And if not, you can just look at for me on LinkedIn. It's Anna Nedelcu. I know it's really a difficult surname, but good luck with that. Anyway, tell me something on Instagram. It's better.
Oh, okay. Well, but as you said it, I think now I can say it because you just said it. So that's Anna Nedelcu. Nedelcu? Yeah? Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, I said it because in the beginning I was like, yeah, I'm not going to even try to say your second name. So, and I will ask you, but then I forgot to ask you, and you didn't say anything as well. So like, yeah, okay, let's carry on. So Anna Nedelcu, it's all right. It's difficult, but it's all right. We can say it. So I would recommend everybody who's been listening to this Tuesday Talk to get in touch with Anna Nedelcu for career advice, for personal branding, to get yourself into a better line of work or upskill yourself, because we can always do better than where we are always. We need to always push ourselves to grow and put ourselves in the market. So at this current climate, we need people like Anna to help us. You know, I like to use the word jazz every time. So I'm like, jazz up our CVs, jazz up our personalities, you know, and if we're trying to do ourselves, we never see it, right? We need people like yourself who are outside our box and seeing us, and then okay, you know, we can do all this and this. It's like the what do you call it now, the personal decorator guy, what they call it, interior designers. So interior designers, right? So they come in and they look at your house and rooms and how, you know, everything, and they tell you what should look nice, and then you work with them. Okay, yeah, I like your ideas, and that's how I see you as well, right? So or a coach, like all these athletes who are brilliant at what they do, right? Every athlete, Olympian, let's say, for example, every Olympian is a gold medalist, for example, right? But they all have a coach behind them who actually tells them what to do and what their capabilities are, and pushes them to that limit of their possibility. And then it comes to the actual event and see who is actually was 100% committed to win that gold medal, because there's only one gold medal out of 10 people, Olympians who are gonna race, for example. Only one will get it, and then they are the one who don't quit, and they get it at the end.
Nice.
So, Anna, I wanted to say thank you very much for taking the time out and hopping on to this Tuesday Talks. And is there anything you would like to say before we wrap up our Tuesday Talks for audience?
if they're in a job search, don't quit. You will get it. I would say that.
I love that. I love that. Yes, 100%. So, Anna, thank you very much. And everybody who's been watching this Tuesday Talks, thank you very much for tuning in. If you had an inspirational moment or a aha or a spark, you know, or a light bulb moment, it's our duty now to share this with whomever, because we don't need to keep the inspiration within us. It's our responsibility to share it with others, because if this episode has created a spark, that's all we need for others people to have that as well, the other person to create that spark, because we don't know who's going to bed or waking up thinking of a better day. And this episode might just start that journey for them. Not saying it's going to change lives, but it will start that journey for them to take that action if it's created that inspiration in you. So share that with everybody and anybody that you think should be watching this. Anna, once again, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Everybody else, we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye bye.